funny as hell because at this point, every time Trump does something, this started in his first round where he got so much accomplished. And I mean, I really don't mean to make fun of people, but it's just to let off steam. But like, you may have gone to college and all this other stuff, but man, I grew up in LA. It's got to be an LA thing or a California thing. And these Trump people that are like go back to Iraq, go back to Mexico, like are so like we are so culturally and socially advanced over like those clowns. You know what I'm talking about? Like they ain't gonna make it. You know what I mean? Like these fucking like these are like the bad boy club. I drive a truck and I work construction. Like he just got out of prison on a meth charge. Right? I've been working in the yard, bro. He's all buff and cut. They come out. There's the blonde Aryan queen, Nazi queen, gets knocked up by the guy. He goes right back into prison because he doesn't know how to rob a liquor store right. You know, then he's clicking up in prison. I mean, and then Elon Musk. I thought, that dude doesn't even come across to me as being like an American. First of all, he's like, he claims to be the richest man in the world or something like that. He's not. He's like all of the Saudis, which were okay. You have a Russia and Ukrainian peace talks, and you invited the Saudis. These are the guys you had your hand on that globe, right? Like it's all. I mean, he's so out for. How do you think he's ever going to relate to any of you people? I guarantee you have more in common with an Iraqi, with a Mexican, with a black guy, than you will ever have in common with Donald Trump. I mean, I don't know anyone, and I come from a middle-class white background, that is anywhere near being raised as freakishly as Donald Trump. Did you know Donald Trump's... I've never heard of this before, and I'm not making it up. I'm just saying, you look at these people's bios, and you start saying, well, that's a little awkward, that's a little odd. His grandmother, I think it was his grandmother, maybe it was his mother, and father, they came over here from Germany during World War I. I'm not making this up at all. And the mom didn't like it in America, so they went back to Germany, where the father was almost arrested because they said he was a draft dodger, and that's why he went to America. You just went there to avoid World War I. And they sent him back to America. That's his lineage. Okay? You have the majority of the country is not at 88 years old, man. Like, what is he even running? You see what I'm saying? What is he even running for president for? Like, I'm going to die on an overdose of fentanyl, so it doesn't really matter, right? That's how you're going to kill us off. But, like, what are the aliens promising you? Like, with that age regression thing. Because that motherfucker should have been dead a long time ago. He could drop up a heart attack any day. Why would he be leading this country? Like, he was born in 46. Like, our last 8 presidents were born, like, of that World War II era. And I got mad respect for all, but the greatest generation, you're just ignoring us. We invented all this shit. Like Elon Musk, I'm like, he's not an American white boy, because then he'd be like MTV'd out and he'd be born, he'd be cool and hip. No, he's from South Africa, of course. And he's part of that part of South Africa. The shit that when we were kids in America, we were like self-apartheid, even the white kids, unless you were out in Kentucky or something like that. His dad was in Emerald Mines. So his dad was a slave owner. And his dad in an interview mentions how Elon never has ridden in any car less than a Rolls Royce since he's been born. What the fuck does this guy have in common with you? Oh, and he's not a citizen. He's still here on a student visa because he went to like Pennsylvania City College and shit. He went from South Africa to Canada, dicking down a whore. He has like 13 kids from 5 women. You know how those Aryans are. They're like, I think it's a reptilian thing. I don't even know what that's about, but they find each other. But basically, more of them are in cells and SIM cards. And it's like, yeah, the power of the white man. And then that's where all the, you think black people take all the welfare? No, it's these white bitches that give up the pussy to the guy that's out on bail for 6 months before he goes back. I see it all the time, man. I see it all the time. And then here I am. I'm not making that much money, but at least I speak different languages. I can go anywhere I want in town. Just give the universal nod of good looks. I can go into the black hoods. I can go into the Latino hoods. I ain't scared of any of that because there's no reason to be scared. Nothing's going to happen to your white girlfriend there, because then the cops might show up if they kill her. But if they kill each other, the cops never show up there. Like, see, you don't understand. Like, it's not even a white or black thing. People are like, dude, he's a wigger. He's a wigger. I'm like, no, man, I just never grew up only. It's such a short-sighted area. Like, you can make fun of me all you want, but like, I'm transgender. Okay, whatever. I don't swing that way. I mean, you should worry about Trump. You gave him a mandate, and so he went out on a date with Elon Musk, who's not even a citizen, while he's supposedly kicking out citizens. Really, he just has to beef with our neighbors. Because if you get rid of Mexican food, I'm going to kill you, man. Like, we're California. We know what's going on. If we're not complaining about it, if we're a sanctuary state, then you all need to shut the fuck up. Because in California, the most annoying thing are these fuckheads from other states who are like, you got to clean your brush. Like, they don't even know what's really going on with the brush fires. They don't even know that, these homes are fireproof, right? Yeah, we've had brush fires here for a long time. Like, $1 million of a $5 million home goes into making a fire retardant. We have like 100 yards of brush clearance, or you get fined. The materials cannot be made of wood. Like, they're so fireproof. And yet on TV, they're like, oh yeah, these fucking idiots. They're just out in the woods. It never occurs to you it's unusual that all these homes are burning and the trees aren't burned. Because they just can't handle the truth like that. They can't handle it. I mean, we're just taking all the weight for you guys. We are an amusement park of disaster out here. And what does that do? That toughens you up, man. It makes you essentially a civilian life. It makes you a social soldier. And they're all scared. They're like freaked out. Especially like the transgender people who are like who dress up like space goblins. You all know, you guys know what I'm talking about. Hey, I had them too as roommates because I got to pay my dues. I'm not scared of anyone like that. Why would you be? The whole goal is like, you guys are like freshmen. You guys are going to have to redo some classes if you're still caught up on that shit. I mean, white flight, when that happened in LA, that was funny. When they bust in kids, my parents don't even know you're going to go to school. A bunch of white parents took their kids out of the schools because they had to go to school with blacks and Mexicans who didn't speak English. And all of those white kids are like the smartest in the world. And you want to make fun of them? They invented your computers, they invented the internet. Half of your CD collection it came from us. I mean, everything we did, even the illegal shit, from drugs to fucking graffiti. You guys are just culture vultures, man. And then you want to talk shit. When you're the ones who are so ill-adjusted and don't realize Trump's not real world. Elon Musk is not real world. That's like some fantasy you aspire to be. And to be honest with you, I don't want to be that. Someone wrote today, you're not going to get the $5,000 check. Dude, I turned down the $2,000. I'm not selling out like that. Like, when you vote, you got to sign your signature, right? You're signing a demonic contract, bro. You don't even know. You don't even know about all that shit because you're just culturally not there. Like, I spoke fluent Spanish before I even spoke English. And, you're all Earnhardt fans and Raiders fans. Like, Raiders fans, yeah, like, see, they love the craziness and the gangster shit, but they don't know shit about football. They can't play football at all. Like, Dale Earnhardt fans. See, I know more about NASCAR than all you guys, and I'm from California. Richard Petty was the king. Earnhardt fans, you're just like Raider fans. You just go there for the beer drinking and the titties, but you don't know shit about cars or racing. And if you're still racist, it's about the equivalent of, if you're still racist in 2025, if you still have that hang up, you can't change a spare tire, dude. You cannot change a spare tire. That's the equivalent of where you are mentally. How can we be so much more advanced than that? Like, I'm serious. Like, even when people say we're going to go on a road trip, there can be 3 black guys, 3 Mexican guys, and 3 white guys. And if you say we're going through a road trip and we're going to drive through Mississippi, it's the white guys that'll be like, oh, fuck no, dude. Fuck no. I'm not going down to the deal with those idiots. And the black and Mexican guys are like, what? What's the problem? Dude, they hang people down. They're fucking ignorant racists down there. But who will say that? The white guys in the crowd will. The black guy will be like, I have a family here. My grandmama made gumbo here back in, the early 1900s and this and that. They're the ones who really are Americans. You know that, right? Like, on paperwork, when you could check, like, what you are, people put Irish American, Dutch American, but there's a box that says purely American. Do you know who qualifies for that? Blacks. Yeah. No, they don't have a home country anymore. Where are you going to send them after you slaved them out, after they built your country? Like, it's just a fact. Like, I'm not scared to admit it. Like, God is probably not going to be white. Like, what are you going to do when he shows up? Like, you could talk about the shock of the hour. When the wheel shows up, I know. I feel bad making fun of them. You just need some more training, guys. But thank God I grew up in the city that you hate. But we don't have any hate. Like even when the Rodney King thing happened, everyone who was white knew it. Like they're telling you in Mississippi that like it's a race war. Dude, I knew the riots were coming. Even if the cops were found guilty, the riots, we had it on the calendar already. After what they did to Latasha, they shot a girl in the head and gave the woman probation. Oh shit, it was on at that point. But they're like, just stay out of it. Just stay out of it. Eric from House of Pain. I grew up with him. He got arrested when he was, when House of Pain was popular. When Jump Around was the only song out that ever existed. That's the song they did to make money for the label. No one, everyone's like, that's House of Pain. No, they would sing other songs about when we would go out and get drunk every fucking day out in the valley with black guys, Mexican guys, and the suicidal tendency like looking like flannel and Dickies short pants. I mean, all you guys are culture vultures. But Eric got busted at the airport for having a gun. And it was like, oh man, he's a gangster, he had a gun. He didn't get arrested because of the gun. He got arrested because the gun was stolen in the riots. He stole the gun in the riots. So there's a whole real white part that these Trump people have no idea. They think they're the whites. Like it's a race thing. We know our time is up. The devil knows his time is short. But like I said, you're not going to make it. I know I'm going to make it. I've graduated with honors, homie. I don't have an ounce of hate in me. I don't even use the N-word when I can use the N-word. I'm like one of those white dudes who can use that. And if any brother thinks you can't, come let's get it face off. I know more about what's going on than you do. I mean, that's like when gangster rap came out. You had Crips and Bloods who were white before it even got to New York. It was really a big mistake. The black guys were like, dude, you guys got to catch up. We got white boys out here that are more thugged out, more black hood than anyone in New York is. And then there was that whole West Coast East. It was terrible. But man, that was like the center of the world. OJ chases, North Hollywood bank robberies. Like if you didn't grow up around disasters and chaos like that, all of this stuff really seems weird to you. But we're just an amusement park for disaster. And that's when you get to know your neighbors and you have barbecues and you're all friends again. Otherwise, you go back to drive-by shootings, road rage, and let everyone else in the country complain about it. That's why when we make movies, you talk about Hollywood, right? Whenever we make an alien invasion movie, they purposely put in the scene where the ship blows up downtown L.A. I'm serious. We really put those scenes into the movies, like let L.A. get destroyed while we're in L.A. Why? Because the rest of it sells. The rest of the country is so dumb. They hate L.A. Although they all come out here with the New York Yankees caps and all that shit. Because they're not from here. They want to come out here and be proud that they're from Chicago. But the world revolves around us. It really does. Get rid of us and you're fucked. Like California's going to fall into the ocean. Metaphorically, I hope you're right. I mean, we're waiting on the big one. The fires are nothing. And those things, the best we can tell you is that laser weaponry is starting the fires. And you guys are still on some, are you still on the global warming tip? Global warming has created fires at these specific locations only, with winds that have never been recorded before, on these days, with the humidity never been that low before, in these neighborhoods that are the wealthiest in the area. Yep, that's global warming. It's selective like that. Global warming knows how to tax people so it can get, look at the Midwest. You know what's coming next, right? You guys are tornado bait. Once God makes it to the Midwest, you guys are fucked. We're just taking the weight for America, man. That WMD shit, we're still paying for that. Like Guantanamo Bay shit, we're still paying for that. I mean, shit. You know what happened? I mean, how many times did it say, go into this town, and if they reject you, just dust your feet off and walk on? But the disciple of Jesus. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. When you're kicking out Mexicans all the time, who don't make a fuss about all that, you call them rapists. And Trump's a convicted fucking felon, and he's out there talking about the criminals coming here. There ain't no criminals coming here. Well, they crossed the border. That makes him a criminal. Really? Okay, so we're getting the criminals out because someone came here to be American. Because he wants to be more American than I do. Those guys went across deserts with their kids, and some of them even died of no water, nothing. They want what we have here in America, and you want to kick them back out. And because when they become naturalized citizens, what happens, right? They all turn Republican. That's a fucking fact. That is a fact. And anti-immigrant. Isn't that hilarious? It's one weird thing about, and it's not in Mexico. It's all Central America. And that was like, that's why this thing was ICE. No one's leaving. Trump came out yesterday complaining about it. And I was like, dude, what? It's easy to Google. How many illegal immigrants have come into the United States in 2023 illegally from Mexico? Well, it's down 70% from the year 2010. Oh, is it really? A million less came in than did during Trump's... Exactly. Where are these people? You think there's warehouses filled with them? They don't exist. It's just what he says so he can get voted in. They don't exist, bro. I'm in California. There's not warehouses filled with illegals that are doing crimes and raping your daughter. You're all just small-minded people, man. I mean, it's rude to say, but I can't think of another word or adjective to describe it. Make fun of me all you want. I'm just out there. I'm gay. Fine. I don't give a fuck. If you don't have enough self-esteem, if you don't care about yourself enough to be comfortable with that shit, you're just. What's the word I'm looking for? When you're not comfortable with it, what is that called? Insecure. Yeah, thank you. Because I don't know what it means. Because I know I'm always going to be insecure. You want to talk about insecure? Trump voters were insecure. Iraq. I mean, what do you think? What do you think the stunt's going to be that they're going to pull to go into Iran? He's got to have a war. Every president has to have a war, and there is no doubt he's Israel's cabana bitch. They just murdered and slaughtered a bunch of people that almost matched what happened to them in World War II. Although that's the state of Israel, that's not the real Israel. You know that, right? They made that place up, so they think that's the Israel they talk about in the Bible. No, we're the Israel. We're the real Israel. You got to move along. I mean, it kind of recycles itself. Time, history repeating and all that. Those fuckers over there, that's not the real Jewish people were black. The real Semites were black. Like when they call Farrakhan anti-Semitic, I'm like, oh my god. It's that whole thing. Well, they're racist too. They hate white people, dude. I hope they make you a slave when they come back. I hope they make you a slave. Because if you have not repaired your problems, if you've not put any effort into finding, and then they'll have like one black friend, right? Like with me, I had all black friends and I was the one white guy. I was the one white boy. I got my ass kicked all the time. But now it's like, dude, no one fucks with me. When I came up here and I said, I was like, man, fuck you guys. The cops arrested him because the cops saw them jump me. I said, let him go, man. The black guys were floored. I'm like, and then I walked over and I'm like, you go punk bitch. You guys were punk bitches, dude. Come to my city. 3 big black dudes jumped me. The cops witnessed it, arrested them, and I was like, no, man. No way am I. Dude, you know how embarrassing it is to go home and be like, Mom and Dad, I jumped a white boy in front of the cops. I ain't gonna. It doesn't make me tough. It just makes me smart. Like, you guys just haven't seen shit. It's the positive side of the PTSD of living in the city. And just being more culturally, universally accepted. That's where you got to be. When you're there, then you will enter the kingdom of God. But you ain't going to the kingdom of God with that attitude with Trump and shit. You guys are all white flighted out. You're going to hell. You're going to hell. No, you're going to be in hell. It's just so true, though. I hope you know what I'm talking about. Because when I was back in LA, we could talk about this shit all day and make so much fun of white people, like white people making fun of white people in a racial way because you guys aren't from California and LA. You guys would be steaming if you knew how we talk about you guys. Because you're just slow.